Good morning, everybody. It's Juliana Rise and Shine Live for Tuesday, March the 9th, 2021. I have a beautiful guest today, the most beautiful soul sister, Sandra Tremblay, and she lives here in Calgary, Alberta. She is originally from Ottawa, Ontario, and she moved here in 1991. And she shares with me that she's not only a mom, but she's a fur mom, which all of you know how much I love our fur babies. She's an entrepreneur, an advanced angel empowerment practitioner, and she's currently working on her certification for angel empowerment healer. I shared with her this morning that when she wrote her bio, she shared a lot of her story. So I'm going to leave it there. I met the beautiful Sandra, I think at an angel empowerment event at one of our angel days. And we've had a heart-to-heart connection since that time. And I'm really grateful that she's here with me today to share what she's up to in the world, what started her on her healing journey, etc. So welcome, Sandra, to the show today.
Thank you, Juliana. It's good to talk to you.
You too, sister. Thank you for yesterday, because yesterday was International Women's Day, and you shared space with all of us and shared a card and a message. And it was a lot of fun. Like I was saying, not a lot of people did lives, at least in our circles, for International Women's Day. So it was a lot of fun. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
So I thought, dear Sandra, these are unscripted heart to heart. And welcome to our viewers. I see some people are starting to assemble. Please let us know that you're here by commenting so that Sandra and I can respond to you. I will also be checking my phone while Sandra is sharing, but please, we like to have an interactive here this morning.
Yeah, so if they have questions, they can.
Yeah, they can ask. Can you see the comments? Well, there aren't any, but can you see on the right side that if anybody comments? Okay, and I'll check. I see Dodie's on. Hi, Dodie. So I will just check on the phone.
Okay.
This way we can answer. But yeah, just these, speak from your heart, honey, whatever it is that you want to share. Hi, Diana.
So I started this journey in 2012. Before, as a child, I knew I could see, hear things, but we didn't discuss those things. It was like, no, we don't tell people that you can see different things and you can feel, because it wasn't accepted as much as it is today. Today you can speak freely within your own circle. Right. I watch when I'm out who I speak to about it, because there's still judgment on society's have. But I started my journey into angel empowerment shortly after my husband passed. I knew when he had passed, he was home here. So I knew, but when his spirit left the house, I knew that also.
What year did he pass?
2009.
2009, so 11 years ago.
So I've always had that connection, and I know when somebody around me is ill, even if they're not in the house with me. So I was gifted by the beautiful Amanda Kindle a gift. It was a ticket for International Angel Day. And she's the part owner of Friends and Gems. And I was like, okay, fine, we'll go. I didn't know what to expect when I walked in that room, other than this is something new and you're going to be really impressed with it. So I walked in, and Cindy comes in, and Jaden, and they're all Yahoo and that. I'm thinking, okay. I'm looking at all the different vendors and that, but I felt so uplifted. It was like, wow. I didn't think anything more of it. I went to the next one because I automatically bought a ticket for the next event. And then it was like this little nudge going, are you going to do this or what? And it was nobody poking or prodding. And I thought, yeah, well, we'll see. And I just kept hesitating at first, but there was that nudge all the time. Come on, get out there, do it. So I went to, actually, Cindy had done a little event, and it was meditating with crystals.
Ah.
And I was drawn to a tiger's eye. Don't know why, but it was like, I love tiger's eye. I picked it up. The vibration off of that stone was unbelievable. And I had to learn about the grounding. Didn't know what any of it was when I started. And it was just so, like, that was an aha moment. Like, wow, I got to get more into this. What am I doing? I took the angel empowerment course. It was 2014. I got certified because you have to do card read. There's a criteria. A few years later, I did my advanced. Then they came out with a healing process called at the time.
Right, at the time, right. It was the hands-on healing.
Hands-on, because we could actually touch people. Now we do it through distance.
Right.
It's angel empowerment healing. It's an amped up version of Reiki, as well, an easy way to put it. But we're working with your three minds and Archangel Raphael. You repeat words. The language was developed by a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And so you say the word, I say it, then you repeat after me. And I flow the energy. So we do different parts of your body. The healing process is great. I've done it myself. I'm a breast cancer survivor. So it was on my journey through breast cancer was like, yeah, okay, we need this. And that was the universe's telling me, you've got to get out of the position I was working. I worked in corporate oil and gas, and it was like, no, you've got to switch it up. It's that they give you a choice in life.
Right.
And my choice was, well, you can do this. We don't know what's going to happen, or switch it up. So I switched it up. It wasn't it was a difficult decision at one point, but now it's the best decision I ever made.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you, Sandra, because, that's some of the parallels that we have together is our journeys through cancer and the subsequent. Would you say that you had like an awakening, a spiritual awakening?
Yes.
Even when, for those of you that don't know, let me introduce you to Cindy Smith, who is our amazing angel empowerment practitioner instructor here in Calgary, Alberta. You can find her on cindysmith.com if you are hearing anything, or cindysmithaep.com, pardon me. If anything that we're sharing this morning appeals to you, because I know how the angel empowerment courses really did help not only empower myself, but then like Sandra is sharing, you go out into the world and then you can share your light with others, especially, you don't have to have walked through a cancer journey, but especially after. And the energy healing that she's referring to, who was the doctor again? Remind me what his name was.
Dr. Carl LaRue.
Oh, right. Dr. Carl LaRue. Cindy and other practitioners developed this special language around, for example, if you have something wrong with your kidneys, there's specific language around the kidneys to talk right down to the DNA of that specific organ. And if you've ever had Reiki, which is energy that flows to you and through you. It's not of you, it's of the divine. You're just a channel, when I'm getting all God bumps, that is allowing yourself to flow that energy like Sandra is saying. Thank you, Sandra. I just wanted to clarify, because you and I know what it is, but perhaps our listeners who are joining, hi Sam, hi Tony, hi Dodie, hi Jennifer, that are joining us won't know Cindy and Dr. LaRue and exactly what's this angel empowerment practitioner course that we're talking around. So thank you for allowing me to share that.
Yes, thank you. So what I started to do in that timeline too is work with crystals.
Yes.
My son was taking art, and we went into a jeweler's. He had to pick up supplies. So there are all these crystals, and I was just like, oh, I love that. And you're looking at beautiful pieces of amethyst. So I thought, well, we'll see. You're not sure. And I picked up pieces, and the vibration I got, I was like, whoa, what's going on? And the owner of the store looked at me and he goes, your mother's a feeler. And he goes, yeah, okay. He didn't know what was going on.
Exactly.
Like, huh? So I picked up, there was a book there, and it was about wrapping crystal trees. And I thought, that doesn't look that difficult. It's like picking up a book on crocheting or something, and you're thinking, yeah, I can do that. Well, it did take practice. I've been doing that for 6 years now. This is a sample of one of the crystal trees. Whoops, here we go. So this is an aquamarine. And then it was like, okay, well, we got to change it up because I still do crystal trees. I make custom ones. They vary in different heights. And then I thought, well, we know that we change in that. So I made dragonflies.
I know, I love those.
Oops, here we go. And these are meant to hang in a window. And it's just because when we do change in life, it is like a butterfly or a dragonfly. We metamorphose into something bigger and better.
Also, the dragonfly is a symbol for those that have passed on as well.
Yes.
I remember going to a funeral and being at the mausoleum in the Northeast Calgary, and there was the biggest dragonfly I had ever seen. And I was like, wow, like I had heard about these spirit signs, but this one was irrefutable. It was there when we went to the mausoleum, and it was still there when we left, and it was just hanging out. I don't know whose sign that was, but I just knew that it was.
Somebody's there to just kind of say, I'm here.
Do you have one of your butterflies?
No, I don't.
They're so gorgeous too.
Yes, I have butterflies too. I make pendulums also. I've also started making car hangings for cars.
Oh.
So the one I have made, and I don't have it with me right now, but it has saying the guardian angel, you can't drive as fast. You have to fly with your guardian angel. So it's there for protection while you're driving. And you just have to ask.
Exactly.
It's as simple as asking for them to be around. It's not like a big production or you have to do a lot of prep work. It's like, please be with me at this time.
Exactly. And you create those trees because when the crystals are in our environment, they help support our energy, right? Each crystal, like you said, with the tiger's eye, that was your very first crystal. And is it for grounding?
It's for grounding. It's for me, it was for healing.
Right.
It was to center myself. And for me, it was a connection.
Yeah, I know in the goddess world, because I'm hearing Juliana share, in the goddess world, the tiger's eye is for Bast, unified strength. And knowing that you have that strength within you to, overcome that which you are walking through. So I'm like, okay, I will share that.
Yes.
It's interesting, right? Because the crystals for me, like right now, I have my crystal bowl filled with crystals on my desk. And it's interesting because I didn't know what any of them were. Now I know what selenite is. And I'm learning, even the other day when I went to Silver Cove, because I couldn't get into, I'd gone to Friends and Gems, but they have not as big of a selection. So I went to Silver Cove, and just being in there, I couldn't get into Earth Gems because they had a line, like 100 people. because it was nice outside and I'd never been there. But the energy that was in there was amazing. I got myself a baby amethyst for my meditation space and a baby, some kind of quartzite or something, a white crystal. But now I know, like you said, the rose quartz, and this one has a rough heart on it. It's a symbol of Mother Mary and of self-love. Like that's why I'm in red today, because on Tuesdays I really remind myself to take care of me, to nurture my own heart. And I know, right, when you walk through cancer, it's an awakening to take care of yourself so much better than maybe we were when we were younger women. And so the crystals for me help amplify my vibration. And normally I have bracelets on, but I didn't this morning just because I need to do my exercises. Yeah. Beautiful. So maybe share a little bit more about the crystals, how they are helping you, how they help your clients, where our friends can find your website. So if they want to purchase a creation or peruse your website.
So I have many trees of different. The one I showed you was aquamarine, and it's because that's the stone for the month of March.
Oh.
It's the birthstone.
And so what are the properties for aquamarine?
It works with your throat chakra, which is a lot of us need to work with.
Speaking our truth, sister.
Yes.
Speaking up healthy, because I used to be a screamer. Because people, I used to be the peacemaker and stayed quiet. So then when I was learning how to use my voice, I was not using it in a healthy way.
No.
And every now and again, when the kid pushes every button that I have, she emerges again. And I'm like, okay, I got to get back to my, back to basics and healing that part of me that isn't being heard. So aquamarine on your throat.
Mm-hmm. So it balances the emotional and physical and mental. It creates awareness and integration on universal truth. So you are speaking your truth. And with it, you work with Archangel Raguel and Archangel Ariel.
Beautiful. Raguel, justice, right? Raguel?
Yes.
And Ariel, nature and abundance too.
And abundance. Raguel is also good for not passing judgment on self, because we are our own worst critics when it comes down to it.
Exactly. Nobody judges us worse than we judge ourselves.
Yes.
Or at least in my experience.
No, in my own, I'm always the one going, no, don't go do that. And it's like you get that little shove going, come on, you can do it. Get out of the comfort zone. Years ago, I would never be doing this.
Right? I know, me too. It's like if I could have had a crystal ball in front of me, even, 4 years ago, 2016, so it'll be 5 years this September that I left my corporate job to pursue my love of all things divine. And I had thought that I was going to retire there. And, now every day I thank God. Thank you, God. Thank you. Like and if you don't call him God, that's okay. But I do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Like I feel so eternally blessed that like I get to come and I get to play with my beautiful sisters like you and do lives and, play with crystals and read cards. And I'm grateful.
Well, yeah, because it was 2016 I was diagnosed.
Oh.
And I had worked in corporate oil and gas basically since I was 20. And I was doing my angel work and still working in the corporate, but it was I could feel that tug that was like, you're not meant to be here. You've got to move on.
Was it hard for you? Because I know for me, our stories are similar in a lot of ways. Not exactly the same, but similar in that I was at my job for 32 years And I had walked through the cancer 2011, 2012. And then I had heard the call of the divine to change my life and pursued, the angels and becoming an angel intuitive, angel card reader, angel empowerment practitioner. And I was still at my job in 2016 when, I just knew that I could no longer stay. However, getting a good wage after 32 years and thinking that, with my pension and everything. And I was like, are you out of your cotton picking brains that you think you're going to leave this job to do what? And, through my circumstances, which are a story for another day, I ended up having to leave that job, and because it was not healthy for me anymore. And I knew that if I stayed there, I was going to die.
Yes.
I just knew I was going to die, and I needed to step into trust. Did I trust the day I quit? Not on your freaking life. I was like a little girl that was learning how to walk in the trust department. I do have faith. However, trusting that the universe has your back is truly it's something different, and it's something that you feel. Is that something that maybe
Yes.
you experienced?
Yeah, because when I was diagnosed, I remember walking into my boss's office and saying, I've been diagnosed. I don't know how we're being treated or that. But then he goes, fine, you're off. Take your time off. I've been off since that day. It was, and you're right. I thought I was going to live in corporate world till it was retirement.
Me too.
And then it was like, when I was told no, I was like, I came home. Of course, there were tears shed.
Of course. Yeah.
I had to then explain to my son, which was, as a mama bear,
Right.
it was difficult because he lost his father.
Right.
And I was like, okay, but you know what? I'm tough. I can get through this.
Yes, you
Yeah,
are.
there's been scrapes. You fall down and you get back up again. But it was the best. I'm not saying it was the best thing to get cancer.
No, I hear you. I hear you, sister. I know exactly.
The lesson that I learned was we put this thing on, well, we have to do this. We have to achieve this goal. And yeah, I was afraid of, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to keep a house? How am I going to do all of these things? How am I going to enjoy life? And then it was like, no, you have to sit back and you're right, trust. It'll all come. Don't stress it. Because once we're stressing, we're not helping our body. We're just making it more.
And that was exactly what my oncologist said to me, was that I needed to reduce my stress. And I was crying every day towards the end before I left my job, because I had an unsuccessful return to work. And for me, that was God saying, Juliana, you're not meant to be there. I've got a bigger plan for you. And I've got some work for you, and you get to it. And, for me, I remember I was crying out to God when I was angry with him. I was filled with chemo, and I was saying, why me, why me, why me? And I'm a feeler. I'm clairsentient. But I heard God, I think it was God, who said to me, why not? Or when I said, why me? And he said, why not you, Juliana? And I was like, okay, well, if why not me, then I need help, because obviously I'm not living my highest, greatest life, manifesting migraines, diabetes, and cancer, stage 3 peritoneal cancer. Obviously, I'm out of alignment, so I need help.
Yeah.
And that's what, when the people left my life, that's when I turned to the angels, because as somebody who's a feeler, as someone who wanted to be liked and loved her whole life, when people left my world, and the day I left my job, those people are not your friends.
No.
Very, very rarely. And so 32 years of my life, the door slammed shut. Like, God made sure. that door was not only closed, but it was slammed shut. And, here you are filled with chemo, not knowing if you're going to live or die, going, well, what do I do now? This is what I knew. This was my title. And as women, I think a lot of us base our worthiness on what's our title.
Well, yeah, because we've had to fight for where we are through the mothers, the grandmothers, great grandmothers. We've had to fight to get to where we are today. And in some aspects, I look back and my grandmother was a very strong-willed woman. She ran a boarding house when her husband passed. But they didn't work at the time. My grandmothers didn't work. It was, you stayed home, looked after the babies.
Yeah, took care of the kids and the husband.
And my mother worked her entire life until she retired. So that was probably my being taught. You have to work to achieve a goal.
Right.
But I was like, when I left the job, it was hard. I'm not, because you like the fact that you've got an income.
Exactly.
I do. My income now isn't the same, but I am far more happier. I'm light. There's no restrictions. I can do things I want to do.
Do you find, Sandra, because as I reflect, there isn't a day that goes by that I don't reflect on my journey. I loved working where I worked. I worked for AHS, Alberta Health Services. I was proud of my title. I was proud of my loyalty. And, I also was really happy with where I worked, and I was willing to, jump through all the hoops to stay there. However, it had gotten to the point where they made it so uncomfortable that I needed to quit. I needed to quit for my sanity, for my family's sanity. However, when I look back, I think, why wasn't I good enough? Why? Here I had had cancer. My son manifested epilepsy. And yet when I returned to work, they didn't make it easy for me. And even though I know that there's a higher power and I've reconciled all of that, there's times where, I loved the income because I made a good wage every 2 weeks for 32 years. That was the blessing, that the energy was, I went to work, I did a job, and then I received a paycheck. However, now when I look back, and I'm like you, I don't make anywhere near the amount of money that I used to make. However, I feel richer than I ever have in my life. And here I am all these years later, and this morning I only have lipstick on. And I feel like I look better now than I did all those years ago. Well, 10 years this year that I walked through the cancer. I'm showing up. I'm sharing the love of the divine. I'm able to meet with amazing women like you, sharing International Women's Day, sharing my story, healing together, which is a gift that you cannot put a price tag on. And learning about crystals and angels and healing, it's big work. That the 9 to 5, yeah, it was big work too. I know that I was of service. I worked in health information management. The job that I did was important. However, now, would you say, because it's a feeling for me, it's a feeling that I'm making a difference in the world.
Yes, I'm making yes, it's a big difference. I worked in records management for almost 40 years. I started when I was 20, and it was like I went up the ranks to become a manager. I've seen the changes. It was just things that I saw after. It was like, I'm spending my life doing this. There were times I didn't even want to get up and go in.
Exactly. That was what thank you for intuiting that, because I went off on a tangent. That's what I was going to say, where when I think back, I couldn't even get out of bed. I would, press the snooze. You could ask my husband, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes,
Mhm.
5 more minutes. I didn't want to go to work. And a lot of times I would drive there and I wouldn't even remember. I was not mindful. I drove from here to every hospital in Calgary. Half the time, I didn't even know how I got there. Whereas now, 5:30, I'm up. I want to watch the sunrise. Like I have this passion for life and for connection that I never, the amount of money that I made was, thank you, God. However, it's not everything. And
No,
now that I'm learning and growing in this amazing garden of all these beautiful, amazing souls, like I feel gifted every day. I feel like I want to get up. I feel
yes, you want to get up, you want to be with the other people that are like-minded.
exactly.
You feel the true you, you feel authentic. It's not, I was finding going to work every day, I had to be this professional
Right.
that we don't show emotions, we don't talk about family, we don't, you're here, you do your 9 to 5 or whatever your hours were.
Sandra, did you feel like you were wearing a mask at
Yeah,
work?
oh yeah. And it was to try and remove the mask. There were people trying to see what the Sandra is.
Mhm.
There were some that would go, oh, I'm interested. But at work, I'd be going, I can't discuss this because I can't, I'd be vulnerable at that
Right,
point.
right.
And I
Well,
don't want to open myself up for that.
because
Because,
yeah, I remember, like, I have one when I went to John of God in Toronto, which he was a trance medium, a very big faith healer back in the day, and I got some blessed angel cards, and I have one in my office right now that I had up at my desk, and I had gotten my very first. I think I have them here. My very first tourmaline, and I'll just grab them because I have them behind here to show you. I had these at my desk, and people were like, "What is she doing? Like,
mhm,
what is she up?" Right? Like, I had already started experiencing the shift, and then people were like, "What is she up to?"
well, yeah, because going into my office and coming in with these on is like, is she going back? Is she like a hippie? What's going on?
Exactly.
Because you'd wear, and I'd be like, no, it's just, it's my, well, I just say it's just jewelry.
Right.
I don't want to explain because you know who you could talk to about it. And like you said, those people are out of my, that was a voyage or a journey I went
Right.
through.
Well, isn't it what they say? People come into your life for a reason, a
Yes.
season, and a lifetime. And I remember my mom saying to me as a young woman, Julie, do not, get your joy at work. And I used to think she was crazy because I'm a lovey. Everybody that I meet, I'm like that big Galufa chicken in the commercials, or not in the commercials, in the cartoons that goes, I'm going to hug them, I'm going to love them, and I'm going to keep them forever. That was me. I would
Mhm.
meet people and think that they were my friend. And I remember my mom, it was like a forewarning where, these people are not your friends. The people that you work with, there are some that may become, but overall, you're not there for friendship. You're there to do a job and you
Yes.
get paid. And it was a very big lesson for me because, I used to cry. I used to cry because I missed people. Whereas now, like, I love the communities that I'm in. I love deep diving. When you've walked through a journey as we have through cancer and facing your mortality head on. I mean, all of us know that we're not going to be here forever.
No.
However, cancer comes with a lot of fear, at least in my experience.
Mhm.
Would you
Yes.
concur? Right? You're scared shitless. Pardon my
Well,
language, everybody, but
well, you don't know what's going to happen. Am I going to live? Am I going to die? Am I going to be like riddled with like marks all over me? Am I ever going to grow my hair back when your hair falls
exactly.
out?
Am I going to suffer?
Am I going to be in pain? And it's like, you don't know because you're just like, okay. And I just used to say, okay, whatever you got planned for me, let me know. And you'd go, you're going to get through this. Basically, don't sweat it. You'll get through.
Right.
But that was their way of getting my attention.
And the crystals, are one facet of healing.
Oh.
Right? Like that's what people don't understand. I know a lot of my religious folks, they get upset with those of us that love crystals, but we don't. It's not like we pray to crystals or
No.
revere the crystals. It's like they're supportive vibration, because we are all vibrational beings.
Yes, we're
And
all
they help support us. And each crystal, like, I think this one, well, it's a yellow quartz, not a citrine. But if it were a citrine, it would be like an abundance. You can use it to help with your abundance, to stay in that abundance mindset. It reminds you of that. And look at how gorgeous it is. I mean, I love the yummy yellow colors, or, even, this one is a raw, like amethyst with, I don't know, a lot of times the amethysts have purple and they have white in it. And amethyst for me is forgiveness. And it's Archangel Zadkiel. And for me, I had to learn a lot of forgiveness. Like, it just supported me in when I wear that vibration of calling in the angels, of remembering that I am worthy. And that's how the crystals helped me. And putting these beautiful trees in your environment can help support your
Well, that's it. It helps. In my backyard, I have a Serenity Garden, as I put it. It's got a cement bench with butterflies, and the butterflies are my mother.
Yeah.
And there's rose quartz all throughout the white rocks out there. And it's a nice, I don't sit out there often, but when I do go out there, you sit and it's like, you take a deep breath and you're so peaceful. You're calm.
And that's what the divine wants for us. Like, it's interesting because, these are unscripted and we never know what we're going to talk about. And once we're in the zone with the person, like, it just flows to you. And I'm hearing, when you shared about the rose quartz, that is so important for Archangel Chamuel vibration, Mother Mary vibration, the vibration of self-love, of peace, of serenity. And that's what the divine wants for us. They're saying, remind everybody, Julie, that's, it's our birthright to feel peaceful, to feel abundant. Suffering is optional. We humans think we need to suffer in order to grow, and we don't. It's like you said at the beginning, ask your teams. Sandra and I have learned that our divine support is a team, which includes God of your understanding, archangels, your guardian angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your loved ones in spirit. Like, we're not here alone, my friends.
No.
Right, Sandra?
That's it. And yes, I do the trees, but I also put them when I have a stomach ache or something. I have my green fluoride, rainbow fluoride to put on my and I just put it there. And it seems to settle rather than going and getting the Pepto-Bismol and everything else. I'm not saying don't go get it, but the crystals have so much in them. The vibration is unbelievable.
It really is. Like, for me, when I went to Silver Cove, I hadn't been there for about a year and a half. Well, definitely during all this COVID, and then before that. And so when I was in there, I said to my husband, oh my gosh, I know almost all these crystals now. If I don't know them, I know of them, because Cindy, when she created her deck last year, it's like each card has a supportive crystal, and I've been doing so many readings with those cards. Do you have those cards with you today?
Yes, I do. Just give me 1 second.
Hi, Tanya. Hi, Sam. Yeah, doesn't that Serenity Garden sound beautiful? And all of us can do a Serenity Garden. And the truth of the matter is, you don't even need to have a garden. You can do a Serenity area in your home. Create a sacred space or an altar, a shelf where you can start these beautiful altars. We call them altar, but if that isn't a term that you love, then just a little sacred space that you can put like me, I had this crystal bowl and I was like, why is it in the china cabinet? I'm going to put all my crystals in it and I'm going to learn. And, I don't know what all of them are, but, I'm learning and they're here when I need them. And that's what you can do too. Just go to a crystal store and see which ones call you and then learn about that one. So it's not overwhelming.
And just hold it in your hand.
Exactly.
And the vibration is obviously giving you something.
Message, exactly.
It's a message. So yes, we can go through books and tell us it means this, it means that. But what's that vibration to you?
Exactly. I have a book somewhere. Here it is. It's called the Crystal Bible. Yeah. So you could even get something like this where, if like Sandra said, when you go to the store and you go in front of the crystals and you can use I use my receiving hand. Yes. And you just put your hand over them, or you use your eyes too. Which one do you love? Are you falling in love with? Maybe you're hearing, feeling, seeing, or knowing something. Like absolutely selenite for me was one of the very first ones I ever got, because selenite clears. It's also, I love the beautiful white vibration, which is purity. I love that you can put on any chakra and it'll clear it automatically. And for me, like Sandra was saying, I often, even with my husband and my son, I'll say to my husband, put the selenite on you. I think you've absorbed some energy. When I came home with these big honking long selenites last week, he's like, what are those for? I said, they're for above the door. And he said, well, I thought you had some, but I only had the little ones. Mm-hmm. I said, as my vibration is increasing, I felt like I needed bigger ones. And Jenya from Join Vitality agreed. She's like, yes, Julie, I think that's a great idea. So I now have selenite in every room of my house, and the boys just know. A lot of times they'll just go up to it. They'll see me clearing cards on it or whatever, just holding it feels so good. Well, so I know that you were looking for the cards. I would love if you pulled us a message today.
My trees also are on selenite for clearing.
What's your website, Sandra?
It's angelswithsandra.com.
Angelswithsandra.com?
Yes. And they can send me a message. And that's also my Facebook page.
Perfect. So angelswithsandra.com. I put it in the stream so that if anybody wants to check. And Sandra's available for readings, people. Yes. She can do them, over the phone, or she can do them in video messenger, right? Is that okay, Sandra?
Yes, it is right.
And, she can help you if you want to learn about crystals, or like I said, you can go and peruse her website, because remember, everybody, we believe in this. We don't share what we don't believe in, because we've had the experience. Even me, the little Catholic girl, angel girl, goddess girl, crystal girl, like I know the difference it makes in my life when, look at this, the Herkimer diamond.
Yes.
Our teacher, Cindy Smith, created these little baggies of Herkimer diamond, rose quartz, and tourmaline, black tourmaline. And I have them in the 4 quadrants of my house.
Yes.
Because it's protection. And not from a like a fear-based, but just from a maintaining your energy as an energy worker. We want to grid our space so that we're maintaining our own energy and we're not allowing other energies in, because we want to be that clear channel.
Well, nobody notices I have them at my doors.
Yeah. Well, no, me either.
I had to hang them up because my dog thought they were something to eat.
Yeah.
Because he loves crystals too. Every window in my house has selenite on it.
Yeah, it's a great clearer, because you want, like, my whole house, what I've recognized is my whole house is my sacred space.
Yes.
You know, even in my son's space, I bought him 2 salt lamps, one white, one yellow. And so, you know, because he's not open to all the woo-woo, although he knows about Archangel Michael helping him. And of course, we believe in God. And so, you know, we have symbols and signs in our house to share, you know, to share space with the divine, to allow, to invite the divine in. Like you were saying at the top, just ask in a way that feels good for you. Hi, Paige.
Okay, so this is Cindy's cards.
Beautiful.
On it is a message from an archangel, a crystal, your action plan, and an affirmation, because we always should be doing affirmations. They used to say do it for 30 days, but it does take 67 days for the DNA to, and our higher good to get the message through. So I'm going to pull one of these beautiful cards for us. So what does the team want us all to know? It is ask for guidance.
Can't make this up.
No, and it's not like I have them all. So it's a message from Archangel Gabriel, and it says, my child, ask for guidance to be open to receive. Ask for comfort to be open to receive. You are divine love and deserve to receive all you desire. When you ask, we answer. Remember to look for the signs and symbols using all your senses. The crystal is copper, and it so happens.
Beautiful.
It was almost like they were cueing me. I'm here to open up and magnify a conduit of connection to your divine guidance through seeing, hearing, knowing, and feeling. I assist energy to flow and remove blocks in the connection. And the action would be, I ask questions to the divine and use my sense of sight, hearing, knowing, and feeling to receive messages. I practice building trust and clarity. And your affirmation is, I am divine love and I am open to receive divine messages now.
I am divine love and I'm open to receiving divine messages now. I love that. See, this is the thing. I love this deck because it like supercharged my readings, because like you said, it has the angel message. It has, I call it the homework, you know, it has the crystal. So like I was saying, when I went to Silver Cove, and even when I went to Friends and Gems, which is our AEP family, you know, source for crystals and everything divine. And then also at Join Vitality, like, I'm like, oh, I know what those are. I know what those are. And then with the affirmation, like you said, it takes at least 7 days to get encoded in your DNA. And that's why, as angel empowerment practitioners, we guide you in the readings to, you know, of course, if you feel guided to do the affirmations for 30 days, then you're going to, you know, as you say it, then you believe it.
Yeah. So it's 67 days.
Oh, 67, pardon me. 67, pardon me. 67.
Okay. And holding the crystal, it's okay, it's copper, but just holding it in your receiving hand, you can feel that vibration. I had done a crystal tree one day, and it was the wire I was using was very heavy, and my hands were sore. And it was like I was doing a reading for someone, and I just sat with the copper, rolling it back and forth in my hand, and within, I don't know how long, my hands felt normal again.
Interesting, right? It was like, what energy were you holding on to?
Well, yes.
Right.
And we have to let go of things. We have to remember to let go of, don't hold on to it.
Yeah. That's the, you know, it's interesting that you say that, because for me, I remember, you know, different people, especially my mom, because I would call her crying, oh, Mom, I don't know what to do. You know, I think I'm going to have to leave my job. And I never quit anything in my life. I am no quitter.
No.
Like even yesterday, a song came up, Don't Stop Believing. And I was like, I know, I hear you, angels. Because in my human, there's days where I'm like, am I meant to do this? Am I doing truly what God wants me to do? Or am I trying too hard? And then when the song came on, I'm like, okay, I hear you. Like, I trust what I'm getting.
Yes.
I'll continue to ask for help. I'll continue to support my own vibration. I'll continue to align with, beauties to help me share, that are sharing their stories. And like all of you that are on right now, you'll hear how the cancer in our lives was only a fraction of the story. And we didn't stay in there long.
No.
We shared like a couple of minutes of that part of the story. And then we're sharing the healing with you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the angel empowerment or, with Sandra being able to do the angel empowerment healing, which when we get back to, the old way of doing things, they may be able to do hands-on healing, but the power is with the divine and in the language and that energy, just like how you are all feeling us right now. She can help support your vibration in letting go. Because for me, you guys, I know how hard it is. I remember people, my mother, my husband, my kids saying, you just got to let go. And I'm like, I know those two words seem so easy, but they're hard if we make it.
But you just don't sweat it. You've got to let it go. It might not be easy. Might have to work on it a couple of times. But you'll feel so much better and you'll be going, well, why did I even worry about it? Hold on to that.
Exactly. If you had any last words to give or to share with our viewers today, Sandra, what is it that you're hearing?
Trust.
Big one.
It's a big word, but it's trust. Listen to your solar plexus, your heart. That little voice, it's not you. It could be, but listen. Sit and listen.
That divine wisdom within you that truly is guiding.
Yes.
I agree. Thank you so much, dear Sandra. Like she said, you can find her on angelswithsandra.com, here on Facebook, Angels with Sandra, and on the web, angelswithsandra.com. She will double check and make sure that I put the right website. And if you're interested in readings, or like she said, with the crystal trees or the dragonflies, or you can check out whatever she has on her website, you can go there and connect with her. Thank you so much for sharing space with me today, Sandra. The time goes by so fast when we're together. I love and appreciate you. I wish you continued healing. And I think that, the angel empowerment healing, you guys, I've experienced it. And it's powerful because I believe it. I believe that we have the power of the divine to heal our lives, and that there are these practitioners that can help you. So if either one of us can be of service, please reach out. Yes, many blessings. Please join me again next week when I will have a guest, Ellen Jones. And in the meantime, thank you, dear Sandra, for believing.
Thank you, Juliana.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Everyone.